very strong side. Neri versus Sentinels, game one.
Game one is underway. We do apologise about the short delay. Blame it on me. Luckily, decided not to boot, but that is the problem when you are using Epic Games Launcher. The great matchup nonetheless. Jake going to fire an early shot onto the net. Sentinels looking to strike first with Luke Foos almost finding the finish. Beefcake is there to follow it up, but the defense of Neri holds fast. Sefik looking to transfer it down the field. Jake is going to cut it down out before Joris's pass is complete. He does put it towards the centre, looking for Beefcake. Well read by B on the defense, and Joris now trying to do his best to break that halfway line, but it is met once again by Sentinels, who really are looking just to close out this game early on.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen a couple early chances coming out from them, but the counter-attack from this Neri side, it has been good. Not quite found any big chances, but there is one coming in here for Sentinels, and Jake managing to put that one away, but it should have been much better from B coming out on that backboard.
100%. That touch from B really pretty much setting Jake up on a platter, and Jake will 100% nosh that down every single day the week, and Sentinels will take this 1-0 lead. And this is something that's very pivotal without how Sentinels plays, that they very rarely make a mistake, and subsequently they will punish their opponents. And right there, a mistake from Joris, got a prime opportunity to put an equaliser on the ball, but did play it wide, and you have to be capitalising on every opportunity given, especially in these final week. B is looking for the cross into the centre, but the team bump coming out onto Joris, the lack of communication being definitely evident, and subsequently two missed opportunities coming out from Neri early on in this game.
Yeah, and they're still searching for that goal. Sentinels looking to extend it themselves. A big ball being played back into the centre there. It's onto the backboard. Stefik can't get a touch, and Beefcake can't quite find the finishing touch either. B caught out early there. Luke is on that left-hand side. Can't beat out Sefik and get it into the centre, but it's just not a lot of control really from either side. Yes, Sentinels are keeping it further in the opposition half, but in terms of actual possession control and dictating where the ball is going, there's not really too much from either of these teams.
This is very much very true, actually. And as you brought it to the forefront of our mind, I'm sure the audience will see it as well. The lack of midfield control has been absolutely paramount. Yeah. And Sentinels actually are thriving because of it. They are very confident with their defense and very confident going forward. And subsequently, Neri have given themselves a very little opportunity to do anything with their possession, as we see a lot of booming clearance come out, and subsequently very few follow-ups. Beefcake is once again going to keep the possession in the blue half. B's touch going to go AWOL once again. Subsequently straight into Jake, who's just going to fire a shot off. Joris is there, and a lot of a goal line standing defense coming out from Neri in order to stay in this game. Joris with a nightcap plays around Beefcake, looks to cut it around Jake, but Jake is wise to it. It forced B to have to jump in front of his own net. Two players in the corner of Neri's half were Sentinels, instead of Neri looking to break away once again. A missed touch going to cost them the counter-attacking opportunity, and Jake is already back on his backboard waiting for that touch. Sheffield is able to keep the attack alive. Joris tried to put the ball into centre for B, but was touch not powerful enough really to get anything going. Sefik with a lovely catch, going to lay it forward, does find a flick, but not the 50. B's going to follow it up, and we do have an opening goal for Neri. They tie up the game 1 apiece.
Yeah, and with 1 minute and 50 seconds left, that is a big goal coming out here. A good finish as well. Luke just caught in no man's land, really. Couldn't go anywhere and get a good touch on that one. But it is now level here in this game, and Neri, they'll be very happy with that. But they'll need to not concede at the other end, as B nearly puts it into his own net. Does get another save after a Jake follow-up, but the ball is still bouncing. Luke just a tiny bit awkward. Joris sends it out to this side, and this pressure is just going to be kept on here. Sentinels still pushing, another save being forced. Beefcake missing out on that one. Maybe a chance of counter-attack here. Joris out on that right-hand side. Luke touch, but not a good touch away. Jake now taking control, looking to kick-start the counter. He's going alone, gets the 50, but nothing comes to fruition just yet as we reach almost 1 minute left on the clock. But Neri, they are needing to hold on to this lead to at least take it to an overtime.
They really do. It's a good job from Neri keeping out Sentinels after the onslaught of shots they put onto the net, but subsequently they are still the ones receiving a hell of the pressure. Luke, can he get the read? And what a finish coming out from Luke. A classy shot from a classy man. He plays it off the side there, A nice early flip to get the trajectory just right and just had to get a little dink. You have to say poor defense off the backboard coming out from Neri there, giving Luke that opportunity. But they will take a 2-1 lead with just 55 seconds left on the clock. Have Neri got anything left in their tank to capitalise and potentially find an equaliser? They haven't started off well as they are already receiving the blunt end of Sentinels' offence. Let's see if they're able to break away from it soon because the clock is against them.
Yeah, they're looking to get a goal here. Joris almost finding a touch and sending it goalwards with 30 seconds left on the clock. But they are 1 goal down, and the question is, can they actually come back like we've seen them do once already in this game? But they'll need to do it again. That ball sent flying forward. Jake with a good touch there, only as far as Sefik plays it to the backboard. That one not quite waterfalling down, but it is still in a decent area. But Jake with a big huge clearance, 10 seconds left. B can't get that one clear as the pressure is just too much here for Neri to deal with. Another chance could be coming in, the 50 being made, 0 seconds on the clock. Joris, he's going to have to try to counter, but he can't do it successfully. Sentinels are your winners here in game 1.
Great performance coming out from Sentinels, and really what more do we expect from them? It's exactly why they are in the #1 spot, shutting down this Neri side. And granted, it wasn't a blowout game, but actually if you look across the stats, Neri really did not have any other opportunities going forward. And across the board, it's 12 shots coming for Sentinels, only 3 for the side of Neri. And the amount of saves that Neri had to make really was apparent. They had to make 6 saves, and it really proves a point of how well Sentinels did control their opponent's half and kept the ball going forward. Very rarely did we see them on the back foot, and Neri, they were definitely punished for it. I'm definitely looking for the side of Neri to bounce back in this follow-up game. If they can do so, Sentinels may well have a bit of trouble on their hands, because there were flashes and moments of brilliance coming out from that side.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. You could see that they were definitely playing that counter-attack style, trying to catch the Sentinels team off guard. But if the defense is as good as it was in the last game, the first goal was definitely questionable. They could have done better. I could see them coming away with a couple overtimes, but they've got the early lead here. Joris, he must have pinched that from the midfield, 72 miles per hour. And it wasn't even a pinch, it was just that fast. Wow.
It was just an absolute boomer of a shot. Perfectly timed flip into the ball, subsequently leading to that power-heavy shot. And nobody's going to be able to save that. It was a great angle as well. Beefcake did find the win, the 50-50, a very smart bump coming out from, I believe that was Joris, to keep him away from the follow-up shot. And now this is where the test begins. Sentinels are starting to mount their attack. Joris with a lovely touch onto the wall. B with a beautiful redirect. Joris looking for the follow-up, but Beefcake able to get back in time. Oh. That shot just a bit wide as well. All 3 players of Neri have committed up forward. They must be aware of the rotations, but they're doing a good job of keeping it in the Sentinels half, looking like a much more different scenario than what we saw in game #1. Regardless of it being only the early iterations of this game #2, B cannot get the touch to keep the attack alive, and Jake's going to have a free shot. Joris playing patiently, waiting for the shot to go off so he can find the jumper. Did find a follow-up shot as well, Luke did, as he's going to find a redirect, a lovely touch. Wow. Joris is going to be there with Sefik in aid of getting that save. It's still on the clock now. We've only had a minute and it's been a plethora of action.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like there's been much more than a minute played in this one. But it does not matter here for Neri. Joris making it his second and Neri's second too. This is the kind of lead that they wanted to get. And very early on, it can't really come any better. And you do have to say, compared to the last game, playing that defensive counter-attack style, they've done the complete opposite already, matching the amount of shots they had in the last game and getting the exact same amount here, instead 2 goals better. And you couldn't have asked for a better start.
You really couldn't, and this is the question I posed at the beginning of the game. They've got a 3rd goal, and beginning we said this, Sim. What are they going to be bringing here? Are they going to play overtly patient, or are they just going to throw everything at the wall? And obviously the patience game didn't play off in game #1, but they are throwing everything as Sentinels, and right now Sentinels have been completely been caught off guard. I'm expecting, though, they are #1 seed for a reason, for them to bounce back and to change up their play style just a little bit, but they're going to have to do it soon in this game #2 if they only want a remote chance of bringing it back. As B did go for the early shot. Fortunately for Luke, he was getting in the way, found the bump. Sefik finds the fourth, and this Neri roster looking like a completely different animal.
What is going on here? Sefik and Joris both with 2 goals to their names now. Sefik also with 2 assists. I mean, B at the minute just sat there as that sort of third man, just almost there the whole time, ready to sweep up if needed. But it doesn't matter if you're winning. If that's the playstyle you have to play with, then so be it. They've got Joris and Sefik going up, and they've already got 4 goals. B, you can already see them again just sat there to stop the counter-attack. And this Neri side right now, they are very well set up, and long may it continue if they continue to play like this. 4-0 in the opening 2 minutes against number 1 seed. It's brilliant to watch.
It really is, and if they keep this streak up in the games, the 5th one goes in, then if they keep this up, they may well put themselves in a position where they can actually potentially make the play-ins. We'll have to get a confirmation in regards to the stats and the standings, but a great showing from Neri, and I really think, where was the question is risen, where was this roster throughout the rest of league play? If they're playing like this, I'm really surprised to see them in the position they are now. Luke fires a shot off. It is going to hit the crossbar. BK cannot read that, but Jake can. His shot, though, fortunately, going to go a bit AWOL, and subsequently defense from Joris is going to be dividends. A good challenge by B onto that 50-50 is going to slow down the counter-attack. Joris does not find the best of touch. He's actually going to get bumped out for it, and subsequently the misplay being punished by Sentinels. We're only at the halfway mark as Simdog. We've seen 5 goals coming out from Neri, but this is where a turn may begin. Sentinels finding their opening goal. Neri have to keep their level heads. They have to keep focused, because this Sentinels roster will find a way back into it otherwise.
I do have to say, losing a 5-goal lead is very difficult to do, but there's always the potential of it happening. And the fact that there is only, the fact that we're only halfway through this game, it definitely goes to show that there is plenty of time left to do it. Luke is going to try and continue the comeback as he plays this ball downfield. Jake there again. Sefik dealing with that one comfortably. And all I can say is, Neri, the only thing they have to do is exactly the same thing they've been doing this whole game so far. As there's another save coming out there, and Sentinels, they're really starting to build back into it now, aren't they?
They really are, but at the same time, this Neri defense building up to being a formidable force. You can see Luke throwing out a demo onto that third man, but Sefik very well aware of the potential threats. Jake doing a very good job of finding the initial flick with a rotation from B, absolutely pinpoint to mitigate that in being any sort of factor. Sefik does find the initial clearance. I believe that was B flying in to try and find the read. Jake is going to take that away for that opportunity and take it right back into Joris's bonnet. Luke being such a nuisance to the back line. Sefik with an absolutely audacious save, keeping that out and keeping his team with this 4-goal lead over the side of Sentinels. A great save indeed, and right now I have to say it, Sentinels not looking like in the prime position to actually mount any sort of comeback.
No, it's really looking difficult, and that man who made that save just then, Sefik, he is a big reason as to why. He's been involved in every single goal here, 3 assists, 2 goals, and he's obviously just got that all-important save. And if that continues into the next few games of this series, there's another shot from Joris, comes in, completing his hat-trick in this one. Neri, they are looking on fire right now, and they really, if they do continue to play even a fraction of how they are now, this series could go completely different to how I thought.
I completely agree with you, and I can't believe I'm going to say this. Neri looking at the potential Brazil here against the number 1 seed, which is kind of ridiculous, you have to say, and as we mentioned it, very surprising indeed. But all credit where credit's due. Neri playing absolutely lights out. Rocket League, definitely finding the momentum where need be. You have to say they have to keep it up, though, if they want to keep on showing us what Neri Rocket League all looks alike. But Beefcake has found a bit of a counter-attack. At this stage in the game, I think the comeback, obviously, it has to be well and truly dead. It's pretty much impossible to score 5 goals in 15 seconds. And so right now they're probably looking for a consolation goal or a momentum changing goal, and I think that's what Neri needs to be aware of. They mustn't go into this next game being the ones who concede last. And right now you can see Sentinels trying to pry for a goal, but it's well dealt with by Sefik. I think with that, Neri will have all the momentum in the world going into game number 3 after they absolutely shut down Sentinels with a 6-1 win.
Yeah, I mean, that is just It's a sight to behold, really, Neri. They were playing some beautiful Rocket League, and they were playing some aggressive Rocket League too. Exactly the kind of style that Sentinels like to play against these lower side teams in the table. But the question has to be asked now, is there going to be a clash of play styles, or will it just continue to be as it has before? Because if Neri play like they did in this game and Sentinels like they have, then it's going to be a long rest of the series here for Sentinels. So they have to ask the question, all right, do we keep playing how we know we normally play, or do we resort to that defensive play style, try to play how Neri were trying in that first game? Because it didn't work for Neri, but it might work for Sentinels. I think they just have that slight edge in mechanical prowess to be able to find out these passes in transition, which can kickstart the counter and find them the eventual goals.
100%. Sentinels, as we said, they're the number one team for a reason. They're adaptable. They've got that adaptation in their locker. And I think Game 3 really is going to prove a point to us. And I think potentially this is the most important game of the series, regardless of what it goes. Game 4, I think, will be dictated of who comes out on top here. I think if Sentinels cannot find a way back in against the way that Neri is playing, then I don't think they're going to be able to reroute and get number 4. But we are into game number 3. 1 apiece, Neri and the side of Sentinels battling it out. So Sentinels obviously well and truly settled into the playoff position, the number 1 seed, but the side of Neri is sat in a position where they really have to find a win here if they want any opportunity of going forward.
And I actually think if they do want any chance, I think I saw before this series they only had 60 games played out of 68, so they're not quite done yet. So there is still the chance for to make play-ins, but I'll have to get somebody to double check for me and let me know to be 100% sure. So the best they can do to put their chances higher is win the remaining games here in this series. A 3-1 might be enough to see them eventually reach the play-ins, but right now we've already seen a lot less goals than what we did at the start of last game as Bees. Trying the midfield musty flick, a shot coming in there for Sentinels, nothing coming off just yet. A minute in, still 0-0, but that could be about to change.
It really could. Sentinels looking like the roster we saw in game number 1. Great stop from Sefik, who's been blinder in defense so far in this series. So Sentinels yet to break down. B with a beautiful clearance, going to play right over Beefcake and subsequently set up an attack here as Joris tries to find the angle. Unable to get the second touch, which is a little bit too awkward for him, but Beefcake does find the demo onto Sefik. And this is a dangerous scenario. Beefcake now with an opportunity to shoot, but Sefik again with another save, keeping his team in it. A great touch from Joris as he's going to be there. Sefik was there to take it away from him for the shot, but another demo is coming out, and you can really see the transitional of the different style of play that Sentinel's trying to implement here. The doubt of demos we've seen in this game, I think, is more than the cumulative total from games 1 and 2.
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned and thought about the fact that they might go a bit more passive, and instead they're doing the opposite. I thought it was aggressive enough. Please ignore that voice break. I thought they were doing enough, but instead they've just gone even more aggressive. They're bringing out the demos. Joris put off massively. B couldn't get the touch, and I actually do think Joris could have got back in time there, but just wasn't meant to be. So Sentinels with that important opening goal here in game 3 of the series, but still a long time left. Sefik could go for the double. I think just changed their mind at the last second, tried to leave it for a teammate instead, but nothing came off. Anyone lurking in the middle, nobody home to turn it away. As we approach this halfway mark, we are definitely seeing a much more well-organised Sentinels compared to last game. Another demo coming out. That ball just boomed forward. B gets an eventual save, and we are still here at the same 1-0 scoreline.
Halfway mark has been
hit. Side of Neri playing from behind, something that I think they're fairly used to at this stage of the league. Sefik now returning a few demos in his favour, apart from being the recipient of them. Must admit, Joris and B have been struggling in this game. B only just breaking 100 points. Joris yet to do so, but he has an opportunity here. Unable to get away to find that shot. B is going to put the fire on. A bit of a double commit in front of the net. Beefcake's all alone. Finds the redirect, and a boomer it was indeed. The 2-0 lead now from Sentinels. Side of Neri struggling at 82 MPH. Really nothing anybody could do on the side of Neri. You can see Beefcake now starting to be that lingerer in the opponent's up in Neri's half, and subsequently these long clearances are going to be actually favouring the side of Sentinels a little bit more. They will have somebody up there as the recipient. It's a dangerous sort of game style, but if you can execute it, you really can, bear fruit from it. And we've just seen there a prime example of how it works. Joris's touch, a bit ineffective, does get back to it to mitigate. Beefcake, who was flying up for the follow-up. Lutfus is there once again, placed towards the back border. You can see Jake flying in for the shot. Neri trying to turn its head in the direction of Sentinels' half. It was led by Joris. Sefik is going to be last black. It's a 3-on-1. Sefik looking to get bumped out, but unfortunately, I believe is Beela, the one who gets the bump onto Sefik. A bit of a team bump at the worst possible moment.
Yeah, I mean, that's just... It's a tough one to watch. You can see Jake also chasing the bump/demo again, and I mean, it is a very aggressive playstyle that we've seen here from Sentinels. One that it is well known in Rival for them to be an aggressive team. I'm just looking at the stats here. I had a little help from Friday to actually look towards this one, but 290 demos from Sentinels, which is one of the highest in this Rival division. And they're pulling it out here as another one comes in there. It's really helping them out. They brought out a lot of just absolute control over this game and dominance. And they are really showing us why they are number one seed now. It's almost like Game 2's never really happened.
It really is, and it's exponentially impressive to see a team adapt on the fly like this Sentinels roster have. And Neri, they've got to find an answer, and soon. And I don't think it may be in this game. And I did call it. I think this Game 3 probably is the most crucial game of the whole series after the Game 2 performance. And I do stand by that. I am scared for Neri in terms of whether they're able to figure out a response to this Sentinels roster, who are playing so aggressive and so disruptive. At the end of the day, even if you're implementing a high level of patience, it can be a curious factor to actually overcome it. And in my eyes, the only way you can do it is actually to really play conservative and evade the demos, go for a low-scoring game. But I know that is not what Neri wants to do.
Yeah, it's not. They don't want to sit back and defend. They tried to play aggressive, conceded those first two. And you would have thought in that situation and in here in Game 3, they would have gone for a few more. But instead, they did just resort to a bit more of a defensive play style. I think they've been scared into going back to how they were in Game 1, which is exactly why it's not worked out here. And they've conceded another 4 here in this series in Game 3. So Game 4, the final game of the series, Sentinels currently 2-1 up after an impressive Game 3 there. I mean, Jake, 502 points. Just incredible. The amount of demos that man must have had in this last game. It is unbelievable. Such an aggressive side, but if it works, who can argue?
Exactly. If it works, it works. Don't break something that ain't broke, or don't fix something that ain't broke, I think is actually the same. I have Source muttering in my ear with disappointment at that quote. But anyway, I'm going to completely ignore his bold ass, but we're going to continue here. Sentinels, as I said, Jake really leading the way in terms of his performance, and I think we saw Sefik actually being that player for Neri in game number 2, and they obviously had that dominating win. Yet this time we're really seeing every single one of the players of Neri not really getting off their own feet. Obviously B did have 4 saves to his name, but at the end of the day, that's really the only stat that actually stood out. And Sentinels have done a fantastic job of answering back and adapting to the way that Neri got that victory over them. And now the ball's in Neri's court. If Neri can find a way of adapting, then props to them. But the way that Sentinels are playing, I think, is a problem. However, with that goal lead, they may well be able to find a conclusive answer to it.
I'm getting flashbacks to Game 2 right here. Sefik, instead of it being Joris, it is Sefik getting an early opener here. We mentioned he had 4 saves, but that was the only thing from last game. But he's got a goal this time, and it's only 4 seconds in. So you couldn't have really asked for a much better start again here in Game 4 for Neri. But after seeing Sentinels last game, you know that this is far from over. A shot coming in, the save being made. All 3 of these Neri players just in such an awkward position. Luke just being that annoying first man, that annoying front man, trying to keep the pressure on no matter what the touch is. And B now finding a pass onto the backboard. No follow-up touch being found. Luke trying to start the counter. Not a greatest touch by Joris. Beefcake is up. The shot comes in. And just like that, we already have the leveler here in this game 4.
Beefcake jumped yesterday for that ball, honestly. He was up there so quickly. You really cannot deny how impressive that read was. But at the end of the day, it's exactly what he brings to this side. Sentinels such a strong force and able to bounce back very early on. And I mean, the argument is, Neri, oh, they scored a kickoff goal. Does it really count? And I think that may well be a question that will be answered throughout the remainder of this game. And can Neri actually build something up like they did in game number 2? You can see Joris starting to linger a little bit more up the field, relying on B and Sefik to do the heavy lifting on defense. But all three players did rotate back, but again caught out in awkward places. Joris forced to commit early on. BK is going to keep that alive, and I think just narrowly hitting the crossbar before it dropped down for the clearance. Joris was there to chase it up. BK's going to reply immediately to put it back into the blue half. B now on the backboard. Not really too much boost to work with, but a lovely fake and finds the ground pincher. So making it work with the little resources that he had. No, it's coming down to that midfield battle. Who's going to take control of it? Joris is taking all the time in the world, but Jake is going to see right through it, read the pages like a script, and almost get a goal for his efforts, but B saying absolutely not.
Yeah, I mean, they're really trying here, Sentinels, aren't they, on offense? But they only have, well, I say only, they have 4 times the amount of shots that Neri have, but it sounds like a lot, but it's only because Neri have only had 1 shot. Sentinels with 4. It's really starting to become who has the better defense. Right now it is level, really. I mean, Neri, they've had to make 2 more saves than Sentinels, but they're also just not creating as many chances. So maybe if they were, then it would be the same case as another save comes out from B here, almost at the halfway point, still 1-1 here in this game. A big boom forward. Sefik with the touch off the post. The follow-up from B. Another save coming out from Luke. Joris open net to shoot into. And we do have the go-ahead goal. Neri, they finally take the lead again here in game 4.
I mean, that was a great building play from this Neri side. They drew out all 3 players of Sentinels and took them away from the defense, and that was the easiest goal you're going to see for quite a while for Joris. What a finish it was indeed, and a great team play, a great way to break down it. Oh, no. Luke, oh dear. Someone clip it, because that is a submission for Faye of the Week. What a beautiful redirect, you have to say, but it is into the wrong net.
Yeah, that's really not one that he would have liked to watch back on that replay. And it is beginning to look more and more like a Neri Game 4 win here. And the counter-attack style is working, looking for another one. Joris early on after the kickoff gets it into the centre. Sefik not going to try and find the shot with this first touch, and instead allowing his team to retreat. But Neri, they'll be more than happy with another win here in this series. 2-2, it would do them a world of good. It would definitely allow them that chance to make play-ins, and it is actually possible. Just been checking, it is possible. They will have another game being played this week, so that will be an even bigger test. But against first seed, or first in the league, sorry, this really is just an incredible sight to see. Neri, they've picked it up in this game compared to previous series that have being played, and I think they'll be more than happy with the performance, and they'll be looking to build on this performance just pre-playing stage.
I completely agree with you, and if they can bring this sort of momentum to play against Surge, it's a great setup though coming out from Jake as I try to dissect something. How rudely interrupted I am, but 3-2 now. It is becoming a little bit shaky, Sim. That goal deficit is just there. It's no longer backed up by 2. And so definitely room here for Sentinels to make a comeback. But if they keep up the way and the formula that Neri have found in this game against Sentinels, in this series against Sentinels, then I think they may well be having a little bit of an issue, a little bit of a challenge ahead of them. Surge will But at the end of the day, this is still the series that we're having to focus on. It's good that Neri have an opportunity there, but they've got to keep their eyes focused and centralized on the aim of the game, because Sentinels are breathing down their neck. And B-Fake's looking to find the equalizer. He's unable to do so. Pacific again with the absolute clutchest of saves, exactly when his team needs him. I believe that ball half crossed the line as well. A great save. Sefik coming absolutely huge right now.
Yeah, he's really putting in a strong performance. Game 3 wasn't the best game for it. It's like his Game 2 performance. Not as much impact going forward. He does have 2 very crucial goals though. Joris looking to get another one here. Sefik one-on-one versus Jake. And just the miss hit coming in there. Luke pushing so far up, trying to use his mechanics to get himself out of a sticky situation. Beefcake just throwing this one forward now, and with 20 seconds left, HopX, it's a very crucial 20 seconds for Neri and the rest of their season.
It really is. Sefik on the back line. It is still Sentinels pressing. Sefik with a lovely dunk as well. Is going to kill so much time with that ball lingering in the air. But a bit of a pinch coming out. And again, it's Sefik with the touch away. Can you call somebody who is more deserving of MVP than Sefik? The answer is no, you can't, because he really has earned that title. What a showing from Sefik. Unbelievable. With that, there's no way else to put it. Without Sefik playing as well as he did today, this side of Neri would not have taken it to 2-2.
Everyone in high school doubted me. Woke up to a text, said they're proud of me. Everyone in high school doubted me. Woke up to a track, now they're proud of me. Everyone in high school doubted me. Woke up to a text, said they're proud of me. To a text, say they're proud of me. Say they're proud of me. To the prom night, high school, I might get it. I can't